Hello, everyone. Thank you again for joining us here on the That's It, That's All channel. We sure do appreciate you spending your time with us and hearing what it is that we have to say. Please don't forget to subscribe. Put on those notifications so you'll be the first one to know when a new video pops up. And also, like I said in previous videos, we're trying to build a community, and I can't build a community without the you and me. So make sure that you go ahead and you like and you dislike as your heart would lead you to do, and comment in the comment section. We really want to get this dialogue going. With all of that said, this is Composy and Sony B.
Hi, Sony B here.
All right, and we're going to be getting back into one of our favorite topics here at That's It, That's All, and that is The View. This show was on today, April the 12th, and this particular show now, I get to finally break my track record and say this was a much more exciting show for me. The hot topics were juicy, and the ladies really gave it their all. What do you say?
Yeah, I think so too. I like this show much better than the last few days.
Absolutely. All right. And so the first hot topic today was on Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams is divorcing Kevin. Can we all say, can the church say, let the church say, amen and amen,
Good.
amen and amen. I'm just going to say this. Uh, I really have to agree with what Anna Navarro said about Wendy Williams getting divorced. Not only Anna, but Sonny. I think, no, I'm sorry, I take that back. It was Sonny who really made the point that I most agreed with. Wendy Williams is the one with the name. It is the Wendy Williams show. She is the person. She is the personality. She is the face. She is the brand. Uh, no doubt, Kevin has had a lot of influence in that over the last 20 years. He has been her manager, but at the end of the day, good management can only go as far as great talent will take it. And Wendy Williams is a great talent. And it just really seemed like this guy was becoming dead weight and baggage on her, dragging their marriage and their name through the mud. At a later date, I'm going to make a video. We're going to make a video on the channel about some of these dynamics and some of these quote unquote Hollywood marriages. Wendy Williams and Kevin, Monique and Sydney, Mary J. Blige has gone through it, and many, many, many others. But I'm happy to see her standing up and finally just kind of taking it on for herself. She don't need that.
Yeah, I agree. And as you all get to learn us, you'll learn Composy and I, Sony B. We kind of bring a different spin on some topics, and our personalities kind of complement each other. And Composy brought up some things that she's going to share more in detail about the three parallels between those couples well, I should say the one parallel between those three couples she just mentioned. For me, just so you know me, I'm this real sentimentalist. I love love. I love people that are in love, and really hate to see
I
people that
got
have been married so
love.
long.
Yep.
Composy, leave me alone. I hate to see people that have been in love and been together so long fall apart. It just breaks my heart.
Yeah.
But in the spirit of prudence and business and keeping your head level,
Hmm.
in a scenario like Wendy's, I do agree, and I'm with Sonny. You have to make a clean cut
Hmm.
because he is so engulfed in her day-to-day business
Yes.
life, her
Yes. Yes.
day-to-day, what she does for a living, her bread and butter, as it were, that I think there needs to be a clean break. And if he thinks for 1 minute that it would reduce her popularity or her income any by him walking away, he has another thought coming. I think he gravely underestimated the woman he's been married to. I don't think it's going to do anything but help her, because you have the sympathy vote now. You're
Yep.
looking at the sympathy thing where people feel sorry for her because Wendy has spent so much time and so many years pouring into other people's relationships and giving other people advice to help them make the right choices. So we have nothing but support for her, and we push for her,
Absolutely.
we support her, and we just want her to know that, hey, if she's listening or anybody's listening that can get word to her, she has a whole lot of people in her corner that know
Everybody's on her side.
this is
Every
nothing but a
literally
great beginning.
literally everybody is on Wendy Williams' side. No one's on Kevin's side. And you know something, there is something that my grandmother and I used to discuss, God rest her soul. There is a right way to do wrong things. And I know that sounds real crazy, but if you really, really sit and think about it and kind of parcel out what I'm saying, there is a right way to do wrong things. A lot of people cheat on their spouses. You don't have to cheat on your spouse. That's bad in and of itself. To cheat on your wife or your husband. You don't have to compound the crime and compound the error by number one, getting somebody else pregnant.
Right.
Number two, spending your married partner's money on this other person,
Right.
and being so open about it and so
Lying.
disrespectful. Yes, so disrespectful about it. There is a right way to do wrong things, and Kevin definitely falls on the outside of that precipice. Wendy Williams has been humiliated through what she's gone through. And she's done what a lot of women have tried to do. She's done the same thing that Hillary Clinton has been dragged for. A lot of these women, especially when they have a name and they have an image, they will try to stick it out and do what they have to do, even when they can see the writing on the wall. It takes a lot to step away from a 20-year marriage. I for one hope that she sticks to it because she really you don't need that. You really don't need that, Wendy. Seriously. I
Right.
don't think anyone does.
Right.
But
Yeah,
I
there's
did
a
think
deal
that
breaker. There's a deal breaker in every
that's a
relationship,
big
and that
one.
certainly is one.
That's a big one. It's so disrespectful to their marriage. And I'm gonna tell you something else, and this is something else I'll be doing a video on at a later date. There's something to be said of protecting your own legacy. It's not see at the end of the day, Wendy Williams is her own person. She will be looked at in the context of this whole thing with Kevin. But Kevin, you are nobody. No one knows you outside of Wendy Williams. And not only have you tried to destroy her, you have destroyed your own name and legacy behind what you've done. You could have been that man that built Wendy Williams, but now all that's going to go down the drain.
Right.
There's something to be said of protecting your own legacy too that I don't think a lot of people think about when they um, engage in this type of public wantonness.
Right.
I did want to make one last point on this because we want to talk about Wendy Williams in much more depth on a later video. But I did think that, and I will finally say it. I wish I had my little hallelujah chorus right now. Megan McCain did make a great point about baby boomer women and women of a different generation who, by and large, prenuptials was really not a part of their vocabulary. It was for the men, but it wasn't for the women.
Right.
And Wendy Williams is of that certain generation where when you got married, that just really wasn't a thing
Right.
for you to require your spouse to get a prenuptial agreement. Also, let's be clear about this: 20 years ago, Wendy Williams did not have the money that she does today.
Right.
If she was marrying Kevin today, he probably would have to sign everything,
Hmm.
non-disclosures, prenuptials, and everything else. A
Right.
contract to the zoo farm. Who knows?
Right. Yeah, that's true. It's different now. So, I'm sure she did what she knew to do with the information she had. But moving forward, it's okay. She still has her best foot forward.
All right. So the next thing we want to talk about is Kim Kardashian becoming a lawyer. Kim Kardashian becoming a lawyer. Sonny B, I'm gonna let you go ahead and start off on this one.
Okay, so yes, so on the View, they discussed the fact that Kim was going to take advantage of the laws here in the land, which state that she can sit under a practicing attorney for 4 years, do 18 hours a week, actually practicing law, and take the bar exam and become an attorney, as opposed to doing the traditional way of doing the college degree and then law school. So there
Mhm.
was a lot of talk that went back and forth in terms of, is that fair? Should someone be able to do that? So on and so forth. And then, of course, they kind of gave a little reminder of how she assisted with the lady that President Trump and
Alice
what was the
Marie
name again?
Johnson. Hmm.
Yes, Alice Marie Johnson, who they got off, who basically should have been gotten off anyway. But it took Kim. to bring it to the forefront and help her get off. And so now that she's home with her family and living a wonderful life. So that was a great thing that Kim did. And so the conversation was, should a person be able to do that? I say absolutely so. Yes. I am not a Kardashian watcher. I'm not into the show. I don't know that I've ever watched one episode. I was more a fan of her father because of his law practices, and I was more into law than I am reality TV. So I am familiar with the Kardashian brand. However, I will say in this instance that yes, I think Kim should do it. I think that those that are in a part of her fan base and those that do watch her show and support her should support her in doing so because
Yes.
I don't, at the end of the day, it's kind of uh, a means to an end. It's kind of a thing of you have to look at it like we don't all go the same path to get the end product, but as long as you have that end product and you have the ability to use that end product,
Right.
then why not? And so, surely, if she can do and make the difference that she's made in someone's life without having anything behind her name in
Right.
paralegal or nothing less, surely she can go and do what it is she's proposing and do even greater works. And so you
Right.
have to understand, you can get someone like the traditionalist that did everything what we call right, going through the college system and the law school
Right.
and practice law on one
Like
level
Sonny.
that will never reach, that will never ever reach, okay, the compounds that Kim could reach because of her notoriety coupled with
Right.
that desire and with that education that she's going to get it. And so she'll be able to do things that the average everyday attorney, like the man around the corner with his billboard in my neighborhood, may never get to do. So you have to look at it like that too, so and one thing that's I think is taken for granted, and that's passion. If a person has a passion to do something and they have drive to do something, sometimes that person can actually end up being really much better, much qualified in terms of pulling off the work that's needed than the person that's done everything right and just doesn't have the drive for it. They went to college, they went to be an attorney because their daddy told them to. The daddy was attorney, granddaddy was attorney. They just did it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Yeah.
I think she should be encouraged, and I think it's a good thing. And I certainly would support and encourage her, and think that everybody else should as well. It ain't like we don't need as many attorneys as we can possibly get. I mean, come on, and that's just not something that's cut. Everybody's cut out for. So yeah, I think it's a good thing. Why not?
Yeah, I have to piggyback on many of those points and agree with many of those statements that you just made, Sony B. I also have a few more just to add to the conversation. I personally actually have always wanted to do the path or go the path that Kim Kardashian is considering taking as far as becoming a lawyer. In my personal opinion, the best lawyers are the ones that it's just not about citing law and setting and citing precedents and law and knowing cases and knowing, it's not just about understanding the letter of the law. In my opinion, the best attorneys are the ones that have a story that they want to tell and they know how to use everything to bring it into the fold of that story. And that takes a lot of keen analytical skill. That's yet to be seen of Miss Kardashian West. If she has that, we don't know. The woman, Alice Marie Johnson, she was already a case that was being championed, and what helped her to get it moved along is the fact that Kim Kardashian, celebrity, added her voice. But it wasn't like Kim Kardashian went to a prison and found this woman, or this woman wrote to her. That's not the case. So if she can channel her passions, just like she did with that woman, into studying for 4 years under a lawyer, I also feel like 4 years is a fair amount of time, people, to go through anything. 4 years is long enough for you to decide you do or you do not want to do something. If you really don't have an interest in it, 4 years is enough time for you to shake it off. So I think, and again, as Sony B said, as a non Kardashian fan, I don't care about their day to day antics and all their little publicity grabs and all that kind of stuff. But I am in favor of this move for Kim. I think that this is a good one. And I do have to say one more thing about this subject. For all of the people who have been speaking on and have been saying, well, the Kardashians are only famous because of Kim Kardashian's sex tape. They don't really do anything. They don't really have any talent. Well, she's trying to tell you guys she's trying to pursue something of academic nature and rise above all that you know of her, which is her face and her booty. I think that she does deserve that chance. I think that anybody deserves that chance. Now,
Right,
whether or not they can meet it is up to them. And we'll
right.
find out because, again, 4 years is long enough to know before you can sit for. And let's also be clear about this, too. This is not a Felicity Huffman, Lori McLaughlin situation. No one can go in that room and take the bar exam for you. And to take the bar exam, see, the bar exam is not about passion. The bar exam is about law.
Huh. It
It's not
sure
about your
is.
passion. It's not about how fiery you can speak on a subject. There's not a single question in there that would be an indicator for how you would be a good lawyer as it pertains to your passion for the subject matter or your
Right.
passion for law. That test is about the law. So if she doesn't learn the law within that 4 years or whatever time she takes to do it, she still won't be a lawyer. So I think everybody just needs to calm down and hey, if she can do it, she can do it. If she can't, she can't. That's just my opinion on that. So do you have any other thoughts on this whole thing?
No, but I think that's is well put. At the end of the day, I feel like if she goes through it, 4 years is enough to shake the dead leaves from the tree. Hey, so you know what? If she pursues it and she persists, she passes the bar. Hey, we'll know her at a different level, and I say it's good for her. Why not?
That's what I say. All right, so moving right along, the next segment on the View today, the 12th of April, they had my girl Holly Robinson Pete. Can I just say that I love me some Holly Robinson Pete. I think she and her husband and their family, I just think that they are so adorable. They are such a great image of what a beautiful, especially a beautiful black family looks like. It's a beautiful thing to behold. She is a terrific talent.
She is. I love her. I love that family, and we were blessed to grow up with them, and see her husband, of course, play ball and her act, and oh my God, the Jump Street. What was it? 21 Jump. Oh my
21
God,
Jump
that
Street.
was my
That's right. Oh,
absolute.
and then Cooper.
I'm
Hanging with
about to
Mr.
tell you,
Cooper.
girl, hanging with the coop,
Yeah.
girl.
Hanging with the
Yep,
Coop.
both of them
Yeah.
shows. I didn't miss an episode. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's so good, and she's grown to be. First of all, she looks amazing.
Oh my God, she's
Oh,
beautiful. She looks so
so
good.
she's still just as pretty as she ever was.
Yes.
And she's just done so many great things since then. I'm gonna tell you, anytime you can start really young and do any type of show, from being a child star up even to the teenage and early 20s, and you, after that's over with, you continue to pursue good causes and do great things with your life and keep showing up, and being respected and honored.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, Hollywood is cutthroat and it's rough. So if you can maintain your salt like that, I tip my hat to you. That's all I can say. I tip my hat to you.
Absolutely, and also because as you were saying, Sony B, it is very rough and tumble out here, and in Hollywood, there's a lot of access to a lot of excess, and when you're in it, you're in it. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of people who don't make it out of it because there is so much access to all the excess. She was on the View today promoting two things. She was talking about, first of all, her show that's going to be premiering. I'm not going to name the channel. If you watched the View, you already heard which one it was, and it's easy to Google and find out. But the name of the I guess it's like a series of movies. It's like a limited series of movies that they're doing on this particular channel. They're called the Morning Show Mysteries. Morning Show Mysteries. And they are based on Al Roker's Morning Murder Mysteries books. And from what I can understand, he's also a producer on this show. And it is starring Miss Holly Robinson Pete and Mr. Rick Fox.
Who is my
Um,
celebrity crush? Excuse me, brother,
and
brother.
yeah, yeah.
He's my celebrity crush. And I have to say, They did show one of these movies already, and it's been several months back, but they did show one when they were first coming out with it. And I was blessed to be able to watch it. And it was great. It was great, you guys. So support my girl Holly and support my crush.
So she was
Had to
on
get
there talking about those movies. I don't I don't think I'm not sure if I'll be watching them. I do appreciate both actors, but it's I'm not sure. We'll see what happens. I'll have to find out the synopsis of what's going on. I know it's got murder, so that part I
right.
can get. Yeah, so that part I could get behind. It's got the murder and it's got mystery, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. But the other thing, now this is the thing that had me excited with her on the show today. RJ's Place. First of all, huge congratulations to Holly Robinson and to her husband. They have raised some amazing children. Did you see how handsome that young man is?
Oh goodness.
That is a handsome young man. They have done a darn good job. And so she was on there promoting the foundation. It's called RJ's Place. And what it does is it helps autistic or disabled persons gain access to, get access to gainful employment, I should say. And you know what? Well, there are people in my family that suffer with varying degrees of autism and disability as well. And there's one thing that I can tell you that I know about all of these people. They are all very, very, very serious workers. When they commit to a job, they're going to be at that job on time, in the right uniform, in the right place, with the right whatever it is they need to have to do the job.
That's
So I'm happy. I am so happy. I got someone that I want to actually refer to this place because I know that this person would be a great fit for this particular foundation.
yeah, that is. That's great. It is doing really well, and I'm really proud of her for coming up with that. So when you do selfless acts like that, just because you have a child with any particular disorder doesn't mean you have to either start or even give to an organization. People
No,
go the
not at
extra
all.
mile. They
That's
go
right.
the extra mile because that becomes a great cost to them. And I'm really proud of her that she and her husband are doing that. And if you notice them, if you know anything about their marriage, anything they do together,
Right.
both feet
Yes, they
first.
do.
Yeah, I really support them.
Yeah, I really Holly and Rodney have my vote. They really do. They have been a great again example of what healthy dynamics in a relationship look like. Now, we don't know them. That's the disclaimer we can always say. No one, I don't know them. Sony B does not know them, but we are all just going by what we can see, and from what we can see and what we can gather, this is what we feel about these people. So, yeah, it was a much better show today. So, cuckoo and bravo to the View, because it definitely was not as boring as basically the rest of the week. Outside of that, Sony B, did you have any other observations or comments, complaints, concerns?
Um, I don't know. I did have one thing I wanted to know, was it just me? But it seems like Joy was a little quiet today.
You know, I did notice that actually. I did notice that she was a little bit quieter than she normally would be, but perhaps it's because if you recollect back in your mind, uh, the last time she was moderating the show, Ms. McCain said some very harsh things to her by way of that she wished that the other moderator was there that day.
Right.
So it might have been a little bit of shell shock.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
I just
a little
thought
bit
that
of
was
shell shock.
interesting. I just kind of wish everybody would keep in mind that, in the absence of the creator, Barbara Walters, Joy is certainly, one of the oldest
She
sitting.
is the oldest, not one of. She
Okay.
started the
And
very
she
first day
she
she was there.
requires a little more respect, a lot, but I'm
Right.
just being a little sarcastic here. She requires a little more respect than is being given her. And she should never feel uncomfortable in that seat. And that's why I
Right.
brought that up. She should never feel uncomfortable or never ever be made to feel that she can't be herself.
Right.
Because I wouldn't
Or
watch it if she weren't on it. I'm gonna tell you right now. I,
well, like I said in the video the other day, there are times when I'm taking my sabbaticals. When they fired her, that was one of the sabbaticals, for sure.
yeah, it was mine too. Yeah.
I was out.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. All right. Well, you guys, thank you so much for joining us today on this podcast talking about The View on That's It, That's All. Please, again, please, please, please like, comment, like, dislike. I say, either way, we still need to know how you feel about what it is that's going on and what we're talking about. So, like, dislike, comment, share. Subscribe to the page, set those notifications so that you can be alerted as soon as we upload something new. We look forward to spending much more time with you in this community that we're trying to cultivate here. And that's it. That's all.